So, hey, this is my JavaScript video. So the first thing, actually, let me run this real quick. So the first thing, so this is a text-based story game, as I'm sure we have all made in a billion different programming classes many times before. So give your story a name. I'm gonna call my story 2020. Actually, I'll do my story 2 because I've made one on here before. So, a chill, unsettling desert wind blows grains of sand past your face. But yeah, you don't. If you want to read this, you can go to it. I don't have that much time in the video. So basically, you're given a choice. I'm just gonna say, I want to explore the barge, investigate the noise. I want to wander around. I'm gonna do this, and then this, and then this, and then I end the game. And cool, that's my story. Awesome. And then afterwards, what you can do is go here. Let me close that real quick. Go to mystory2.txt. What? I named that file. And as you can see, everything from your story is printed in here. So if you don't want to go through it again, you can just read it. But back to the code. So the first thing we have is this set of import statements. And the main two things you want to pay attention to are buffered reader, IO exception, input stream reader. Buffered reader and input stream reader are the ones that read from the command line, so it uses input, so the name of the story and the options 1 or 2. IO exception is when we're writing to a file or when we're given text that doesn't correspond. So I have an integer field for those options, and if it doesn't correspond with that, it pulls up an exception so the program doesn't crash. But let's get to it. So the first class I have is story holder. This just holds everything, nothing too crazy. This is the string story name, so this is whatever the user gives us, and this is just the getter for it, and this is the setter. This is the add to file function. What this does is it first uses the getter to get the user's defined story name, and then does files.write, and then it adds this, and then it opens it up, and then hits append because this opens up every time something is added to the um, not the command line. Every time it's added to the user's terminal. And if it rewrote the whole thing every time, we would not want that because it would only save whatever the last printed statement is. So we like that. This is the create statement that says if the file doesn't exist, make it, and usually it does, so it keeps it. This is the, again, IO exception, and so this is if it doesn't exist, then print file does not exist. Simple as that. And this is print sum. So this is how you print something in C# system.out.println, and that's a little annoying sometimes. So instead, I'm just going to do print sum. And then this actually ended up working out really well because when we save it to a text file, we just do add to file. So basically, anytime a print statement is run, it is saved to a file. Pretty handy. This is a little statement to quickly clear off the screen. Nothing too crazy. This is a pretty beefy one that I made. Um, this is the ask user one. So when the user is asked to input something into, so they're given two options, right? Option 1, stay in the barge. Option 2, leave the barge. So what this does is whenever that option is thrown up, it pulls up this function as an integer. It opens up a reader, and then it sets the loop stats to true, so it keeps running infinitely until it's set to false. And it will print off 1 plus the given option, and then 2 plus the given option. And then it'll say, while this loop is true, make sure that the input is a number, and if it's not a number, then it goes to here, and it says, hey, only put numbers in here, and then so this will happen, and then if it says, oh, it is a number, it'll say if it's 1 or if it's 2, then print off you chose this. Well, it doesn't print this off, it saves this to the txt file so you can know what you chose. Originally it didn't, and it was very confusing. Then it breaks free from the loop and returns this. And if you do put a number, but it's not 1 or 2, it just kind of says, hey, there's only 2 options, print this off. And these are in correctly formatted loops, so they do print off an infinite number of times until you put the correct thing in. This is retrieve inventory. It just prints something off. Money message. When you first get money, it just tells you this. These are all the different endings. Well, this is a set of 2 endings, and this is a set of 2 endings, and this is the generic ending. And basically what this does is it's just an easier way to print off stuff because multiple different if loops can go to the same ending. So this is just an easier way to hold them. Um, I'll explain. Basically, this holds the same stuff as the main program, so I'll just explain it once. So the first thing we do in main, this is only in main, this is not in null ending or the other endings, is we declare money to 0 and life status to true. I don't know about you guys, but I was born this life as a true Boolean because I was actually born and I had no money. I was broke. Um, and then you give your story name, um, and then it opens up a reader, reads the name, um, says it's a story name. I don't know why this is not formatted, right? That should be up there, but whatever. And then it adds txt at the end so we know what type of file it is. Clears off the screen because we don't need that. Um, Again, starts the story off. So it just prints that off, nothing too crazy. And then we set a new variable called path split one. This is the first time the path will split in the story. And we pull ask user, so we're going to give it two options, leave the barge and explore the barge. So now this path split is going to equal two things, one or two, nothing else. And so if path split is equal to 1, so if the user chose to leave the barge, what does it do? It prints off the next statement and then asks the user the next two options. So in this case, you leave the barge and you're wandering in the desert, and then you see a hut in a swamp. And you can choose to wander deeper into it or investigate. And so if you choose 1, actually this turns out that you die. If you choose 2, then it goes on and it does the same thing. Asks the user, assigns it to a new input variable, and then does stuff based on what that variable is. And the variable can, um, these variable names are named by the number of choices that have gotten them, I guess, yeah, been used to get them to that point. So path split one, this is the first one, and so that means I chose, at the first time I had a choice, I chose 1. At the second time I had a choice, I chose 2. It's kind of like that. So yeah, just kind of goes down from there. When you get money, it just kind of, this adds it to it, prints it off, goes to the end message. And yeah, simple as that. There's not really much else to it. I did spend a lot of time on this project. I probably spent about 2 hours debugging the stream reader because it would not work, and it would not work for a very, very annoying reason. Let me go back up to it. Where am I? Oh, add file. Oh no, not add file. It's in main. So right here where, no, not right there. Yes. Oh no, up here. Okay, so in the entire class, um, by default, story name is saved as fake.txt. Most languages that I've used, like C Sharp for instance, you don't have to set a name and it will still save it. And this story name is a user-defined variable. And this is something I could also work on the project, but if I do not put fake.txt in there, the program will not run. So fake.txt is in there for about 2 seconds before it's overwritten by the user. And that is my project. Thank you for watching.